Welcome to Sports and Songs Podcast, Season 2, Episode 14 with Dan and Andy, your co-hosts. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. We got no frozen pipes. The dryer works. The car is starting.
Everything's good to go. Today's Saturday, February 27th. Tomorrow's the last day of February. Baseball spring training kicks off tomorrow. All the games start tomorrow, and then we've got, 4 weeks spring training?
4 weeks since I got 5 teams playing round robin, basically, it looks like in the last schedules.
Oh, yes.
Which is fine. I kind of didn't like all those split squad games and everything else all the time. They still have a couple of those, but that'll be so few and far between now.
The Twins have announced Devin Schmelzer is going to start the first game, Sunday's game. Schmelzer.
The only thing I'm going to bring up real quick is I noticed this last year in the playoffs. At work during the day, I wanted to listen to the game. You can't pick up on the WCCO app. They won't play sporting events on the app for your phone. But if you download radio.com and listen to WCCO, you can get the game. So whatever your favorite team is, hope that station that broadcasts their games on radio.com and try that. So hopefully that works for you. If not, spend the money, get the MLB app. I get the free version of MLB app on my TV. You get 1 free game a day. It sometimes might be an afternoon game. Sometimes here in Minnesota, it might be the 10:30 start because it's Arizona against San Diego. But you get 1 free game a day, which is kind of cool. Because if all you rely on is ESPN, you get either the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Yankees against the Red Sox. So gives you another option.
That's about it. Yeah, they do focus on those guys. I've done that MLB app before, and you do get that. You check each day. There's a random game on, and
random game. You get stats. It's kind of like reading the newspaper.
It's automatically refreshes. If you keep it on the stats, it'll automatically refresh, or it's just the game. It'll just be on in the background. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's like having your computer. You can watch the game online there. Yep. But before we get started, sir, do you have a trivia question for us today?
With baseball season here around the corner, I've got a baseball trivia question that relates to the Twins, Byron Buxton in particular. He never went to college, drafted right out of high school, and joined the Twins organization as the number 1 draft pick. The question for today is, in his last senior varsity baseball game as a high school athlete, what position was he playing on the last game that he ever played as a high school athlete? What's the position in baseball that Byron Buxton was playing?
Let's get back to that one.
We'll come back to that before we hit the musical segment, but what have you got for some high school sports?
Well, whoops. Sign here. Sir, can you mark me down for screen sharing, please, sir?
All right, I just did it. Now try it.
Pardon us for our on-air production meeting there. We were trying it earlier. We just got to do it now. All right. Here we go. All right.
Now we're set.
Basketball. These are all from Minnesota Prep Hub, the Star Tribune site. For basketball 4A, we got Champlain Park, Wayzata, and Eastview as your top 3. You see Hopkins sitting there at 7. Scroll down 3A, Minnehaha Academy, Totino Grace, and Columbia Heights. And then the rest of your top 10, as you see there, these are all based as of the 24th of February. 2A, Waseca, Minneapolis North, and Caledonia. There's Annandale down at 9. Then here we go, 1A. Monoman, Ashby, Lacapara Valley are your top 3. Legacy Christian at 8, Renville County West 9. Minnesota River Conference, you see the standings there for boys basketball. Mayor Lutheran's leading that conference there. There's Northern Young America down there, 4-7 record. These kind of teams in our area, so Mayor 9-1. Southwest Christian 8-1. So that's Minnesota River Valley Conference right there. Wright County has an East and a West Conference. East Mound West Tonka at 10-0, leading that. Waconia, they're 6-4. Jordan 5-5, Delano 5-5. Holy Family at 3-7. And New Prague coming in 1-10. Wright County West, Annandale leading 8-0. See our friends are at Watertown Mayor 5-5. Howard Lake, Waverly Winstead also right there. Scrolling on down, girls basketball. Minnesota High School 4A. Hopkins, Farmington, Chaska. Kind of a standard there lately. Minnetonka moving up to number 8. 3A, we have Becker, Hill Murray, and Academy of Holy Angels switch spots this week. Waconia coming in at 6. Girls basketball 2A. New London Spicer, Albany, Providence Academy, still your top 3. Really, top 8 didn't really move. Pine City, welcome to the group there at number 10. 1A, Minneota, Henning, Sleepy Eye, St. Mary. Again, the top 7 didn't really change. 8, 9, and 10 kind of shuffled around there a little bit. Mayor Lutheran coming in at 6. Foston at 5. Minnesota River Valley for the girls. That's not a reprint from the boys. It's just the teams happen to be in the same order, same record. I checked it twice. Mayor Lutheran, Belle Plaine, Southwest Christian right there, top 3. Wright County East and West. Waconia girls 10-0, 12-0 overall. Jordan girls are up there. The female hubman. What are the girls called? I know the men are the hubmen. I can't remember what the girls are called. Hutchinson Holy Family Delano. Wright County West. There's Watertown Mayor at 7-3. That's a tough group that West. You got New London Spice for 10-0, 8-2 for Glencoe. Watertown 7-3. Oh, the playoffs will be fun if we have them.
Yeah, the Jordan team's the Jaguars.
Jaguars. I knew it was okay. Thank you. Boys hockey 2A. Maple Grove, Eden Prairie, Lakeville South. The nil drops to 4. Prior Lake holding on to number 9 in boys hockey at 2A. 1A, Hermantown, Gentry, Maridai. So there you go. Duluth Denfield, welcome to the group at number 7. The Lake Conference, Eden Prairie 7-1, Wayzata 5-2, Tonka 4-2. Oh darn, he dined his 4-4. That's too bad. Breaks my heart. That's in conference play overall. Tonka 8-3-1. Sitting good there. It should be fun. Wright County Hockey. There's Orono, top 7-1. Holy Family, Delano, Mound West Tonka. For us in Watertown, Mound West Tonka is our team because the couple players we have bust out the Mound West Tonka for that team. So there's Waconia 1-9 at the bottom there. Girls hockey, 2A, Andover, Edina, Hill Murray. Minnetonka coming up or dropping to 5 from 4. A little switching around there. Basically the same top 10. 1A, Chisago Lakes, War Road, and Proctor Hermantown. Mound West Tonka 4 for girls. Lake Conference, Edina 1, Tonka 2, Eden Prairie 3. Wayzata 4. You could almost say that every year in that conference. There's those 4 teams up there. Wright County, Mound West Tonka, 6-0. Orono, 5-1-1. So there's the girls' standings. Now we move on. NCAA Men's Basketball, Associated Press, top 5 as of the 21st. Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Ohio State, Illinois. Baylor had a scare this week. They hadn't played for like 3 weeks because of COVID. They played Iowa State, who'd won like 2 games all year. Iowa State was ahead to like the last few minutes of the fourth when Baylor finally pulled away. Baylor's got a tough game this weekend. If they're to drop one, it would be now, I'd think, just because they're starting to play again after 3 weeks. If they make it through this, you could almost pencil Gonzaga and Baylor in the finals, in my opinion. Yes, Michigan's a good team. Yes, Ohio State's a good team, but it's going to be a fun tournament there. Here's Big Ten standings basketball. Michigan 1, Illinois 2, Ohio State, Iowa, etc., etc. There's our Gophers, 13-11 overall, 6-11 in the Big Ten. And NSIC, Northern State, leads at 13-1. There you see Bemidji State down there. 7-9 overall. In the South, which is the other part of that bracket, there's some other colleges that are in the BSU conference. So there's Augustana and Sioux Falls. Women's basketball. There's our friends UConn at number 1 on the Associated Press poll. NC State, A&M, Stanford, and South Carolina. Big Ten girls. There's the top 7, Maryland, Indiana, Michigan. Iowa coming in there, number 7. Bottom half of the bracket, Gophers, 8-11 overall. Conference bracket for Northern Collegiate Sun. There's Bemidji State 3 right there in the northern bracket or conference. We'll get to them later in their tournaments going on. United States Collegiate Hockey Association men's hockey. Division I poll. Boston College, North Dakota, Minnesota State. Minnesota, Wisconsin, your top 5. Big Ten standings. Men. Gophers, Cheeseheads, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, and Sparty coming in last. Not all teams. That is everybody, folks. I didn't cut some out. Notre Dame's in the Big Ten for hockey, and we still only have 7 teams. Not everybody has a team. And here's WCHA standings. Let's see, Minnesota State, Bowling Green, Lake Superior State. Bemidji State are coming in number 6. Women's hockey. Wisconsin, Northeastern, Ohio State, Gophs, and Colgate are your top 5. And WCHA, there is no Big Ten for women's hockey. They just kind of merged with WCHA, and they still get 7 teams. So you see, we got Scotty, Minnesota Duluth, Ohio State, Minnesota State, St. Cloud, and the Beavs coming in there at rounding out the bottom there at 2-15-2. Upcoming games coming up: NDSU football, spring football. Remember, they didn't play this fall because of COVID. They started playing now. They won last Sunday, 25-7 against Youngstown State. They played today. I have not seen the final yet at Southern Illinois. I'm not real worried about it. There is their schedule going all the way through April. Gopher Sports men's basketball 13-11. Game tonight at Nebraska, then at Penn State, and home against Rutgers.
I have a question, Andy, on
Yes.
the NDSU. I'm
Yep.
only following those. That game may not even be done yet today.
Right. Yeah. So I haven't seen an update. I don't know if they were leading at a certain time.
I can look it up here as we go. But what do they do at the end of the season? Is there a postseason tournament? There's no.
I haven't heard how their playoffs are going to go yet. They were kind of wanting to see how many teams fell through or follow through with this.
Okay.
Again, wise, how many teams are going to be able to finish this?
Right. Oh yes.
So they may say what they're doing now, but I'm not putting it in ink right yet just to see what happens. It's kind of a fluid thing. Go for women's basketball, 8-11. Their final 2 games there, you see Michigan and Illinois. Men's hockey this weekend at Penn State was postponed. A COVID outbreak at Penn State. Not the Gophers, and we're in good shape there. So then you see that Michigan next weekend, and we got the tournament at Notre Dame for hockey there. And we'll see how that goes. Women's hockey, again, they are in the WCHA playoffs at Ritter next weekend. So home ice advantage, hopefully that helps out. Beaver Sports men's basketball, there's a bracket right there. They're 7-9. They are playing. They've got Minnesota Duluth. They did win the other day. We'll have on our Facebook page all the updates on these scores later tonight. Women's basketball, I did see that update there today, though. Minnesota Duluth, they did lose that game 76-67. So they will not make the finals, but they did have a good season, the women's basketball team. Hats off to them. Men's hockey for the Beavs, 9-7. There's the remainder of their schedule. We got Minnesota State. That was that home and home series. They played Thursday, then tonight. Then they got Lake Superior State, and then Alabama Huntsville. All these games are up at the Sanford Center, up in Bemidji, up on the lake, by the lake there. Up there, then there. The gals will finish off today against St. Cloud State, then that's the end of the regular season for the gals there. And that my friend, is what I got for high school, college sports. Before I get into pros, did you have any baseball stuff, sir?
The only baseball I've got is Minnesota Twins. They have got two. They came out with the top 100 prospects in all of baseball. Major League Baseball lists their top prospects in the minor league farm systems of all 30 teams. Twins have two prospects, Royce Lewis, ranked number 17, and Alex Kirilloff, number 26. So we've got two in the top 26 in all of baseball. Here's the downside. Royce Lewis this week just had surgery yesterday for an ACL.
I heard that, yeah.
And so it had been bothering him. He was projected to play AAA baseball this year, and then at the end of the year possibly come up and join the big leagues. Now all that's out because of this ACL, which is going to take a year to heal. So he's pretty much done for the season, and then will come in next year. That really hurts the Twins on their number 17 prospect. Now, the question is this. He didn't know when he hurt it. And so he had this tear, I guess, that he didn't know about, but it was giving him some discomfort. Well, he slipped on the ice in Texas during the storms. He went in and got it looked at, and MRI showed that there was a tear there that he had previously, and he just aggravated it. So they never even knew he had it. So they're going to do it right away, get it done, which was yesterday. The surgery was done in the Twin Cities. And so he'll be out the whole year. Now, this coming Wednesday, I'm going to do a midweek show on minor league baseball this year. I'm going to do a short segment on AAA baseball. I was going to feature Royce Lewis in there a little bit, but now he's done for the year. So those of us going to CHS Field to watch the St. Paul Saints play, hoping to see some little Royce Lewis action this year, is not going to happen. And so our option is to see Alex Kirilloff, which may start in AAA baseball down there as a left fielder for the Saints. Now, if he does break camp with the Twins, he'll be up there, and there'll be no real big names for the Saints in AAA to watch. There's always a good handful of prospects, but not that top echelon. And that's it. So baseball starts tomorrow. The games on Sundays for spring training. We'll have more. And like I said, I'll try to do a midweek show, a little highlight on AAA baseball this year. And the only other thing I've got, I'll bring it up here now. Let's see. Is this? I don't know if we've all seen this or not, but there's some.
Oh, yeah, I saw you posted that today, yeah.
There's been some interest on former Twins. Where are they now? C.J. Cron is now with the Rockies. Eduardo Escobar has found a new home there with the Diamondbacks the last couple of years. Kyle Gibson's on the depth chart with the Rangers as their ace pitcher. Is that correct?
I have not. Could be right. They don't have much there. I mean,
he's listed as their number one starter. Kyle Gibson.
Wow.
Lance Lynn we'll be seeing now a little more Lance Lynn and Liam Hendricks this year. They're both in AL Central teams against the Twins.
When was Liam with the Twins? I don't remember that.
We brought him up. We drafted him
from Australia.
Came up through the farm system and played, I think, maybe a year with the Twins, maybe.
And he went to Australia and was with the A's last year.
And then he's with the A's and done really good, but he was with the Twins back when he was a starter. He came up to the minor league system.
That's right.
He wasn't that good, wasn't that effective. Twins dumped him, and now he became this huge superstar, much like Ryan Presley, one of the best closers in all of baseball now. The Twins got rid of him. He's now with the Astros. Rich Hill spent a year with the Twins last year. He's a longtime Dodger. He's now with the Rays. And another one, a left-handed pitcher. Get some mileage out of him. I think he's going to turn 40 this year, perhaps. But he's a good middle of the rotation type of a guy. But that's all I've got for former Twins.
All right. I will get into what I got for the balance of my sports stuff here and some other things. NASCAR. We down the road course got the Dixie Vodka 400 this weekend. Here's your top 6. Don't let us advertise tobacco in NASCAR anymore, but we have the Vodka 400. Little moonshine running just like the old Duke boys used to do.
Nice.
There's your starting top 6 right there. There's that Punk Logano at 2. Hope he crashes. So there's those guys. Fun to watch. Again, I'm a big NASCAR guy. Fun to watch. The 2021 Minnesota Vixen schedule is out. Women's tackle football. I've been to a couple of those games in the past. It's fun to watch. It's something different. You got until May. You can follow them on their Facebook page at Minnesota Vixens page, or Twitter and Instagram at mn_Vixen, or mnvixen.com is their website. Fun games to go. There's a couple, the Iowa Phoenix, the Midwest Mountain Lions, Sioux Falls Snow Leopards. So there's the Dallas Elite Mustangs. So they got 6 games. It's something different to do. Like I said, I've been to a couple of games. Fun to watch. It's kind of going to I don't want to say compared to the old Saints games or like a minor league baseball game, but it kind of is. It's their professional level, so it's not just a bunch of hacks playing football, but they're good athletes. They're fun to watch. March Madness. NCAA has announced they have a contingency plan. I was reading this on CBSSports.com that, okay, say the tournament starts. We're all set. We're going. And a team comes down with the virus. What do we do? They're going to have another team they could sub in for them. I think that's ridiculous. They want to have a team because they don't want you to forfeit. Well, you know what? If you were actually the number 69 or 70 team to make it, because 68 make the tournament. So if you're one of the, or if you watch the bracket shows every day, the first 4 out, and this is what I'm afraid of because I'm kind of a conspiracy guy on this a little bit. So Duke, let's say Duke doesn't make the tournament. Thanks be to God. Now someone gets the virus and Duke gets to sneak in there at the 7th seed. Is that fair? Or should the team just get forfeit win for that one game? I say they get the forfeit. If you can't make it, I don't care if your bus broke down or you all got the virus. You don't make it, you don't make it. I'm sorry. It's on these schools in the NCAA. If you're having everybody in the same towns quarantining for this, it shouldn't be an issue. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope they don't have to go to that. Because say this other team. Do you get paid NCAA money for sitting around all the time instead of playing in the NIT? Is there going to be no NIT this year so it doesn't matter? We'll see. We shall see. This joker right here, John Gettert. Combination news and soapbox for me right here. This clown was a 2012 Olympic gymnastics coach. He was charged with 24 crimes with the girls' gymnastics team. If you recall, a couple years ago, the trainer got accused of all these things with the girls. This was the coach. This sleazeball got arrested. They convicted him of 24 crimes. Funny, 3 hours later or so, he committed suicide. You coward. I feel bad for these girls who didn't get a chance to see him go through the courts and get justice so they can get a little closure. Oh, sure, they probably got some closure with him committing suicide. But I don't know if that'd be good enough for me. I'd want to see him have to be embarrassed, humiliated through the courts. Well, the girls can all get up and say their piece, if you will, against him. Give them an earful, like you've seen in those court cases. And then have someone shank him in jail 3 days later. That would have been closure for him. This is a form of closure, but I feel bad for these girls because I didn't see justice done to them. By him doing this, you basically admitted you're guilty. But yes, it's over. The girls can move on. I just feel bad they didn't get their closure. I just feel bad this took 8 years, 9 years to come to. The trainer's already in jail serving his time. This guy got away with it for so long afterwards. I just hope the program can move on. You haven't heard a big bump in women's gymnastics since of people not wanting to go and everything else. There's so many other horrible issues going on with women's sports right now. You got clowns like this guy, like the trainer doing what they're doing. You got 40-year-old men playing college Division II girls basketball because they identify as a woman now. You got high school boys that are finishing 5th or 6th in track but don't like that, so they say there are girls that can win by 7, 8 yards. Being a girl in sports right now in high school and college, it's got to be tough. With all the things going on for them. So if you got a daughter in that or you're a girl in that, stay in there and keep fighting the fight, because I'm sorry you're going through a tough time right now, because it's ugly to be a woman in high school or college sports right now with everything going on. I just hope they make it through. Paul Wright, also known as the Big Show in WWE, and the Giant when he was in WCW. Oops, sorry, I guess picture back up there. He is now signed with AEW All Elite Wrestling. He is going to do some on TV work, as they say in the South, as a wrestler. Paul's a nice guy. He's tried a couple bits of TV shows, and that's kind of hard to be a funny guy when you're 7 foot. Kind of funny how it works out. He's signed with AEW right now. When coming up next week, AEW's big pay-per-view is got Cody Rhodes going up against Shaquille O'Neal. About 10 years ago or so, Paul White, Big Show, was supposed to wrestle Shaquille at WrestleMania. And something came through and it happened, so I know he worked out with Shaquille. Kind of funny he's coming in now, and we don't know how Cody's shoulder is, if he'll be able to wrestle, what the deal is with that. But with Paul being there right now, he's going to help a lot of these big guys, Luchasaurus, Lance Archer, on how to be a big guy, but lose to a little guy, but still keep your respect as a big guy. That's what Paul was able to do so much in WWE. He'd crush people all the time, but you know what? He'd let the little guy get the chops in, and yeah, he'd take the loss to the smaller guy every now and then, but he didn't lose any credibility as a big man. And I think that's what he's going to be able to help a lot of these young guys who are big guys do. Here's how you can save face. Here's how you can be a good big man, but still give the guy their props too. So excited to see what he's going to do there. Next, I got some music stuff. Before I get into that, you have a trivia answer for us, sir.
Yes, the trivia answer for this week. So here's the question. Byron Buxton, drafted out of high school. Twins signed him, #1 draft pick, as a center fielder, very good center fielder. But the question was, what position did he play on the final game of his prep career in high school?
Well, okay, I'm going to go tall, lanky guys. I'm not going to put him at second or short.
Tall, lanky kid.
First base? First or third?
Was actually on the pitching mound, towing the rubber. And the reason it's his last game, he was a center fielder for this team in Georgia and their starting pitcher. And so he played center field whenever he wasn't pitching. But on the mound, he went 10-0 his senior year. They went to state, won the state. The state championship game, which was Byron Buxton's final game in his prep career, was a championship game. They threw him on the mound. He got the win and struck out 18 batters. Very, very good pitcher. Byron Buxton threw 97. He reached 97 miles an hour on the gun his senior year as a pitcher in Georgia. Very good outfielder, but boy, he could steal the bases, bunt, strike people out, and he was throwing some heat.
Yeah, I've heard high school pitchers becoming like shortstops or third baseman, but never outfielder. Or not saying they haven't, but and usually the high school pitcher goes to the corner.
He said it wasn't his forte, but he was a very good pitcher. He was getting looked at. He was also received scholarships in football to go to college.
Oh, wow.
All scholarships. He was the punter on their team, and he played offense at quarterback. And on defense, he was a D-back. That I think he had 6 interceptions his senior year in the football league. He was an all-around athlete in high school, and that's how good he was. He was just running people over. Very good athlete. But he actually was the winning pitcher, and the state for Georgia, state class 2A title team, they won 6-4 in Georgia. But he actually was their pitcher. Had 18 strikeouts in a single game.
Wow.
And that's a 7-inning ball game, right?
For high school, I believe. I think so.
20, there's only 21 outs, so he had 18 of them himself. So very dominant guy. But that was the trivia question. I don't know how many people would have even known that or not. But little Byron Buxton trivia.
He was almost a New York Met. A couple years ago, the trade. The Mets wanted Syndergaard for Buxton straight up. Was the offer on the table?
It was. And right out of high school, the Astros were projected to pick him up, and the Twins got him in the 2nd overall pick, I believe.
All right.
Yeah, he was a beast. That guy was the one of the top prep athlete in the entire high school. So he was good.
All right. I just got a few music notes here. Our friends at Medina. Some upcoming shows. Coco Montoya and Ronnie Brooks. Coming up on March 19th. April 9th. Arena with Heartless. Tickets for that show. And then Trilogy. The Ultimate Tribute Tour to the Doors, Led Zeppelin, and Pink Floyd will also be coming up there at the Medina. One other thing I got to bring up, I saw, came up this week. Now, I saw some albums. Richard Pryor, the comedian Richard Pryor, they're re-releasing some of his albums. Some of these older bands are re-releasing albums. This was not a re-released. This is newly recorded stuff. Alice Cooper. New album out. Detroit Stories. Just when you think life couldn't get any better.
I didn't know that.
New Alice Cooper music. Alice took a few days off the golf course, recorded an album for us all to enjoy. Maybe the Easter Bunny might bring it to you this year, Dan.
Well, I know that on the commercials, on the TV commercials, Wayne's World are back in doing some TV spots for commercials, and he's Garth's wearing the Alice Cooper T-shirt underneath.
Mm-hmm.
If you look close,
not the old Motley Crue shirt.
No, he's not the Motley Crue. It's an Alice Cooper T-shirt.
I had that same T-shirt from Motley Crue in high school.
Nice.
Only I washed mine every now and then, like Garth.
So yeah, that's the ad that made its appearance during the Super Bowl, but. Wayne's World ads. So that's Alice Cooper. Interesting.
Alice has a new one out. Be good, boys and girls. The Easter Bunny might bring you one. Speaking of albums, sir, what have you got for us this week?
I've got album of the week here. I'm going to bring it up. I gotta find it here. Here we go. Let's see. How does that work?
That's Dan's album review.
Brand new. From our graphics department. The album review this week is Wasp, the album called Dominator. Dominator was the 13th studio album by the American heavy metal band Wasp. It was released in 2007. The U.S. release was originally planned, but the label deal fell through. Dominator is based on the current American foreign policies, and this is very interesting. This album is 43 minutes long and 23 seconds, produced on Demolition Records. It's heavy metal, very good album, a very good lead guitar, drums, and vocals on this album. But it's interestingly enough, it talks about American foreign policies, and that's why it's called Dominator. It's Blackie Lawless really goes after the military-industrial complex here and goes right after them. And I think that's got something to do with the fact that the U.S. at the last minute didn't release this to the public. It's almost a form of censorship here with an album like this. This isn't the old Blackie Lawless of old, but this is the new, the Christian kind of cleaned up version trying to educate us all. You got to read these lyrics very good. It's
politically correct.
It's very, very interesting. He digs into some long, ugly truths in American military. The first song is called Mercy. It's talking about, I'm going to make you cry for mercy. It's about torture in some of these detainee detention camps. I'm thinking about the time that this may have come out around the Abu Ghraib stories that came out with the whistleblower saying what was going on there to the detainees there in prison. But this first song is called Mercy, kind of touches on that. Second song is called Long Way to Go. Long way to go. It talks about President Bush's lies and Halliburton, kind of with the Dick Cheney connection in there with big oil, military industrial complex. And he goes on to say that the public is too blind to see all this. And in order to get all this fixed, we've got a long way to go. And so that's a very good song as well. Song 3 is called Take Me Up. This is an interesting song with the lyrics. I think it also relates to torture and rape of female detainees in detention centers in the Middle East. Burning Man. Song number 4 is called The Burning Man. Talks about the seal of domination, the United States seal, our stamp of our seal of domination. And this talks about going into other countries. And if we don't like your democratically elected president, we'll go in there and install a puppet person in our own regime, whether you like it or not. Interesting set. All these songs, once again, about dominator, all these dominator, and not in a good way, but how you can really put your foot down across some of these small third world countries. Song 5 is called Heavens Hung in Black. Blackie Lawless said he got the title for this from Abe Lincoln stated this phrase after the Battle of Gettysburg when the casualty reports started coming in of all the deaths in Gettysburg. He said, heavens hung in black today. And so Blackie Lawless used this. This is really, the lyrics here talk about Blackie Lawless creates the lyrics of a soldier in Iraq dying, and a U.S. soldier about to reach the gates of heaven, only to find St. Peter there saying to him, sorry, but because of all the wars and fighting, there's no more room in heaven. All the rooms are taken. You can't get your wings. Essentially, he's talking about a no vacancy light flashing in heaven. And the feeling that goes along with that after fighting and doing all this for your country, only to find out later that heaven's full, no more entrances to get in. Song 6 is called Heaven's Blessed. Kind of talks about how no matter how bad you've got it, what you'll receive in return is always more than you can ever imagine. This is about giving, donating, and providing charity and things like this. All these good things you never would have thought Blackie Lawless ever would be singing about in his lifetime. Right. He's talking about doing good works and good deeds. Song 7 is called Teacher. Teacher. This lyrics talk about how effective brainwashing is in the American schools and church. Even the phrase teacher preacher is used. The phrase indoctrination, and get on your knees and then you'll believe what I have to say. All those lyrics around that thread, that kind of common thread of education system in the U.S. And then song 8, the song called Deal with the Devil. This is talking about the music industry. Kind of talks about up and coming musical stars doing anything they can get anything they want as long as they sign with the big record label. Meaning you'll hit it big if you sign with the big record labels. Signing with a huge label only to find out later you sold your soul to the devil. Blackie Lawless never did this. That's why he's still around today. But you're never hearing of his albums. This is a 13th album. It's not a big name. And in fact, this U.S., no one distributed this album in the U.S. Blackie refused to sell his soul to the devil to become a huge mega star. And he's obviously not too famous because of it today. But it talks about what you got to do in the music industry. And those who make it big, usually you find out later you've been sold down the river. But this is this 13th album from Wasp. And a lot of these superstar bands that sell 3 or 4 albums and then die off or get wild and crazy with drugs, alcohol, sex, women. Wasp, Blackie Lawless, 13 albums been around, 13th studio. One quote on this review says, Wasp is still one of the best kept secrets in heavy metal.
Go ahead. I was just telling you, I heard an interview with Chris Holmes, guitarist from Wasp, back when they were more popular, more mainstream, if you will. He's in Europe right now. He just had a new album come out. And if you really look at a lot of these guys, the heavy metal music we listen to in the 80s is still very, very popular in Europe. So a lot of these guys have gone there to make a career, or Japan even. I know Extreme is still real big in Japan. Nino's real big out there. But in Europe, technology-wise, they're ahead of us by 15, 20 years, but they're 40 years behind us in music. They're like our old 80s rock and roll still.
Yeah, so very popular heavy metalheads in Finland and Denmark and Sweden. They love their Germany, love their rock and roll and their heavy metal.
But not your Motley Crue heavy metal, not your Winger heavy metal, your Iron Maiden, your Judas Priest, your Scorpion, your more hardcore heavy metal.
Very different. That's what they eat that right up. Some of those large musical festivals, outdoor music concert festivals, unbelievable. If you ever see some footage of some of those things. Wasp is made up on this album. Blackie Lawless is the vocals, rhythm guitar, keyboards, and producer. Blackie Lawless, perfectionist. Now, once again, he's got to get his hands in everything and produces the whole album. Some people like him, some people don't for that. Doug Blair played lead guitar on this. There's some good solos on this album and very good guitar work. But the song Deal with the Devil, lead guitar was Daryl Roberts. Bass on the album was Mike Duda, drums Mike Dubke. And that is the overall review. This came out in 2007, and I think right after a lot of this hit the news, and a lot of these whistleblowers came forward from the U.S. military, kind of made the news. And the album cover is a skull and a U.S. flag burning in the background. Once again, so Blackie Lawless really pushing his education to inform the general public about some very unsavory things that doesn't really seem to make the light of day. But that's why the album's called Dominator. Very good album.
Yeah, I know a lot of the albums right after they all, like the fourth, fifth album after they all kind of broke up, that's when he kind of started doing it all himself anyway. He'd record the album doing all the instruments himself. And then have the people come for solos. But Blackie's always kind of been an egomaniac in a way. Not saying he's not talented, just saying he's an egomaniac. You can be both, John Lennon. I mean, that kind of sarcastically true. John Lennon had a big ego, but he was talented and he knew it.
Oh, yes.
Blackie Lawless has talent, thinks he has more than he has.
That I would agree with, yes.
You know, not say Blackie's very good. I had a couple of Wasp albums back in the day. You know, Animal and all those other ones. I had those. But you're just a good artist, Blackie. You're just relax. But
good stuff. Very heavy tunes there. So that's what I had in my Sony Walkman this week, Andy.
Nice.
But that's all I've got. Anything else for sports?
No, just the next couple of weeks, lots of conference tournaments, high school and college, and spring training baseball.
I'll be looking forward to in college women's basketball. UConn in the Big East tournament starts next week, and that'll be fun to watch. 8 teams make the field. Instead of everyone making the tournament, the top 8, you're automatically in the quarterfinals. And once again, UConn will be the heavy favorite there. That'll be good to watch, but it should be interesting to see how that shakes out. I mean, they were in the ACC and just flipped over to the Big East, and so they wanted them to be in there. They got them back, and now they're just railroading everybody.
Hey, you wanted us back. Sorry.
You wanted us back.
It'd be fun. All right.
That's it. So leave your comments below. Also, your recommendations and suggestions for future shows and topics.
All right.
That's it. Thanks for listening.